Once again, dear friends, you are welcome to Legacy Channel Africa. We thank you for being part of us and joining us, supporting us, and subscribing. Please keep on. May God bless you as you listen, as you subscribe to this for this other moment. Thank you for being part of us. I want to thank the management of LC Africa for yet this other piece of production. We want to look at to go back a little, just a little. We had taken strides and we're almost coming to the conclusion of in a sweet relationship. We had entered marriage, and the other day we looked at sex in marriage. This moment we are looking at, because of the requests that people have been pressing, we are looking at relationships, stressors in relationships. These relationships may be marriage relationship, but we want to go back a little to relationships for people who are planning to marry. Not relationships for people who are in by the ways, who are just experimenting, no. But those whose intention is to marry, to get married sometime, and have reached a stage of courtship. There are stressors, those things which bring stress in relationships. We want to look at them just briefly. These have been categorized. There are stressors which we call financial or economic stressors. Financial or economic stressors. In relationship, we are looking at a man and a woman, a boy and a girl whose intention is to get married soon. Soon may be a week, a month, months, a year, not more than that. And well, maybe, allow me to talk about those relationships for couples who are newlywed. A week, a month, 3 months, that is a quarter, or a year. We are looking at stressors. Stressors are in many categories, aspects. We are looking at, first of all, the first category, stressors, which we call financial or economic stressors. What causes this? Stress is a big thing. I would say challenges, but well, this is what is taken to be common. Well, I have some stress, I feel stressed, something is troubling me, stressing me. It is a song we have sung many times. Because of that, allow me to use that word stressors. I would use challenges, but well, people will take it as an underweight. They may not regard it so serious. What are these stressors? Financial and economic. What brings about the financial and economic stressors? The other day, I tried to outline a few of them. I want to stress them this time. Look at number one, under financial or economic stressors. We'll have joblessness. Joblessness or unemployment has a stress. We would say, traditionally we know or we believe that the man is the financial, is the breadwinner of the family, of the relationship. Even in a situation where a woman earns more or has a little more money than the man, we still imagine that the man would be the financial. Now, if a situation comes and this would be financial, is jobless, has no job, is unemployed, and therefore has no money, and yet for a smooth relationship, these days, more so in urban and peri-urban, we believe there must be some financial muscle. In a situation where this financial muscle is supposed to be built by a job, one having a job, and this time is jobless, it will bring stress in a relationship. It will cause questions. It will cause disagreements, worries, and other challenges. So we've regarded this to be joblessness under financial or economic stressors in relationship. Then number two, we have looked at joblessness. We shall also look at a situation where someone is known as such jobless, but what he earns is actually too low to support or to finance or to move a relationship. Too low. One cannot even afford the transport. They cannot even afford a simple outing because his earning is actually too low compared to the expenditure. Well, we want to come to category 2, which we call environmental or situational stressors. Environmental or situational stressors. This is caused by, of course, environmental factors, situational factors, those factors which may not be temporal as such. Look at lack of privacy. There is no privacy in their relationship as a result of many factors. But we are looking at lack of privacy and environmental or situational stressor. We shall look at category 3, then I'll expand them later, which we call psycho-emotional stressor. Psycho-emotional or psychological emotional stressor, psycho-emotional stress. Under this, we should look at subsections like resentment. We look at frustration. We look at shame or depression. I said frustration or disappointment. Then we look at shame or depression. Then we look at inadequate or poor communication. Communication is an issue that must be taken seriously and keenly in a relationship. Communication must be adequate, must be proper, must be complete, must be smooth, must be well thought of. Communication which is written or verbal or non-verbal, whatever the case, it must be taken care of. It must be done carefully, lest it will cause stress. It will cause stress, it will cause breakups in marriage. We are looking at stressors in relationship. We have categorized them into financial or economic stressors. We have looked at environmental, also called situational stressor. We are looking at psycho-emotional. Then we shall look at other factors as number 4, like health. Health. Poor health is a stressor in a relationship. One of them is sickly. He has health challenges most of the time. And some of these health challenges are even chronic. They take on for long. It is either developed during the course of the relationship, or it was hereditary or gotten somewhere else. For example, a challenge is like, on this matter I want to warn in advance that before a relationship goes into courtship or into marriage, it is important that keen interest is taken on proper, thorough checkup. People have been doing checkup on HIV/AIDS, the status, before they get married, but there are other challenges. There are other health challenges we must take care of, like diabetes, like epilepsy, like sickle cells, and many others. Now, a relationship will have stress in case it is discovered that one of them, these people who are dating, who are courting, has a health challenge. For example, diabetes, has acute ulcers, which will stop him or her from consuming certain foods. This will cause stress. Then we look at, of course, I've talked about chronic illness. We look at death. Inevitably, we look at death. Death of one of them, death of a close relative to one of them, death of a friend, death of a child. These are stressors. I think it should have come number 1. I didn't want to bring it number 1 because it may not happen immediately. It causes stress, and the stress in relationship, stress in marriage. Of course, when death occurs, it affects other factors, including but not limited to the finances of the couple, the finances. It will cause disengagement, disturbances, even in other factors like employment, etc. Death. Then we look at number 7. We look at the other factor we shall regard, the in-laws, whom we shall call third parties. Who are the parties in a relationship? The boy and girl, now called man and woman, or later who will become husband and wife. That is the first part. The second part is a moment when they get children. Now they become a second part. Any other who are not husband and wife, who are not man and woman in the relationship, who are not the children, any other who will come, be them parents, neighbors, friends, church members, etc., they become third parties. Third parties may become a stressor in a relationship, going by what they say. We didn't like him. He's not his fitting. He's not his size. He's undereducated. He's over this. He's too tall. He's too short. This kind of. It is a stressor. It stresses these two to an extent that they may even wish to break up. We would want to warn the third parties to be conscious about over speaking. about the comments which are negative about couples, about some couples. Well, I would dwell much more on these in-laws or third parties because they cause a lot. They cause a lot of stress, a lot of it actually, a lot of it. Sometimes when these are in-laws and they have not liked their brother to court or to date the other girl, or they have not liked this girl to court or to date this boy, they will speak a lot, which will discourage them, which will disengage them, and it will cause stress for some time, which may culminate into a breakup. Then lastly, for this matter, we shall look at the marital rules and responsibilities. Marital rules and responsibilities are a stressor. Traditionally or culturally, people think that it is a woman's duty to cook, to make the bed, to tidy up the home, to clean the children, etc. Even when this woman goes out to work and she comes back late in the evening, as late as the time the man comes back, some men will even branch somewhere, I said some men, and have some chats with the colleagues or the neighbors or the friends while the woman goes back again to continue working. This is a stress. This is stress. Some men are too traditional and they actually not counseled enough in a relationship that they may not even give a helping hand, which will cause this woman to actually to do a lot of chores and finally get stressed, which will affect her sex life and actually will finally affect the marriage itself. These are the stressors in a relationship. We would say a little more, but we have categorized them as we say. I want to make a recap: financial or economic stressor. Under here, we looked at the joblessness. We looked at the low incomes versus the so many or the too many expenditures. Then we looked at now category number 2, environmental, which we call the situational stressors. Those which are temporary, not permanent, actually caused by the situation. Situation may be sickness, situation may be accident, situation may be etc. The people around, situation may be all those which are not permanent, which are environmental in nature. Then number 3 category 3, we looked at psycho-emotional stressors, psycho-emotional. Under here, we looked at the inadequate or poor communication. We looked at shame or depression. We looked at frustration and disappointment. We looked at resentment under psycho-emotional. Then in category 4, we looked at the health challenges or health as a stressor, the poor health or health factors. One of them has a health challenge to do with maybe ulcers, which are so deadly, diabetes, and many others. These cause stress because they will affect what one eats, when he eats it, how he eats it, etc. Now we look at accidents also under health. So these must be taken care of actually before a relationship goes deep. Then we looked at number 5, which is inevitable, which we call death. When death occurs of a close friend or relative, it becomes a stressor in relationship because it takes some time. For some people take a lot of time to heal when death occurred of a relative or a friend. So, and this will cause stress and it will affect the marriage and the sex life. It is a stress in relationship. Then we looked at number 7, the third parties. Under here, we put much more emphasis on the in-laws. In-laws who are not controlled become a stressor in a relationship. Finally, we looked at the marital rules and responsibilities. If not discussed, if not shared, they become a stressor in a relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, allow us at this very moment to break here. Then we shall make a continuation some other time to expand this and even bring more other factors. I wish you a nice time. Thank you for loving Legacy Channel Africa, subscribing and supporting in all ways. May God bless you.